Hey, welcome to another match. This is the kind of hand I always keep and always lose with, so let's lose. Hand is insane. If I can draw lands, I expect to scry a non-land to the bottom and not draw a third or fourth land for most of the game. Third land achieved, just need one more, and then we get to do fires, and fires is pretty good. Playing against ramp, so most of my hand is kind of garbage. But we did get there on lands, so that's a very hopeful sign. Best cards against ramp are the 5 mana 5 mana cards. Oath and... oh, wait a second. Shafet dudes? I guess that still makes sense. No, that's just ramp that's using Hour of Promise. I suppose my Deafening Clarions will do the slight upside of fending off hordes of zombies. So, with fires... so the greedy play is to take Teferi and Oath, and I think I'm going to do the greedy play, because those are far more powerful than the other card, and if I draw a land, I'll be in amazing shape. If I don't draw a land, well, it'll kind of suck, but I'm not going to be out of it. Unless I just don't draw a land. Like, anyways. Because the best thing I could do against a ramp deck is to get to Teferi or Teferi Emblem or start Blessing Bolus. Those are the two best win conditions, and being able to ult Teferi is much easier when you have an Oath going. So, Hour of Promise. I imagine he's going to get some lands. Question is, does he get the 2 zombies from Hour of Promise, or does he grab Fields of the Dead? And do I draw a land? I also gotta hope that he doesn't have anything tremendously big Eldrazi wise in his deck or in his hand. Double Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. Okay, well, I'm definitely expecting some kind of big Eldrazi. I do think I'm taking Slaughter Games and casting it, and I think Ulamog is more scary than Emrakul, so let's see what he's got. Alright, well, he has an Ulamog and some Walking Ballistas and a Field of the Dead, and he's also got World Breakers, Ugins, and an Emrakul. And an Oblivion Star. Okay. Well, score 1 for naming the right card. So, I mean, that's something. He's going to get to cast a big ballista here, though. Which is most definitely bad for me. So he can get up the World Breaker or Emrakul. After the ballista dies, he'll be able to... Yeah. Eh. Alright, so you can get an Emrakul and cast it next turn. I suppose the best thing to do would be able to tutor up a Gideon's Intervention named Emrakul. And then I just have to worry about a couple giant ballistas. So drawing another Fave Wishes wouldn't be bad. Drawing a land, if I draw land, then I can play like... Oath of Teferi plus a couple times Fave Wishes, make it harder for him to kill Teferi with the ballista. Alright, well, Heart of Kirin does sort of answer the question. Fave Wishes is super awkward with Emrakul, though. He can kind of make me discard my entire hand if he knows what's up. So I do actually want the Fave Wishes to die. This is just going to be another 4/4 ballista. He's got 9 mana. 10 mana. Okay, now he can cast the Emrakul. Fortunately, like, he can screw me a little, but he can't completely wreck me. He says, drawing the worst possible card to draw in Fave Wishes. So if he realizes that he can make me discard 4 cards with Fave Wishes, I'm probably out of the game. But he might not see the line. Suppose we'll find out. Him paying it with mana definitely is not the smartest thing he could do. I mean, he could have made me discard 4 cards instead of just 2. I imagine the 2 cards he makes me discard are Verdict and Teferi. Let's see if he shoots the Fae. No, he doesn't. Does he cast the Fae with Fires of Invention? Maybe throws out the Deafening Clarion. Alright, so he definitely didn't take the best line. I mean, like, I'm still behind, don't get me wrong. But we're not out of it yet. So let's Enchanted, yes. Verdict. Cast Verdict. And we even get to scry for a Planeswalker on our next draw step. I made a mistake. I should have played Castle Ventress before the Verdict just so that I could F6. Oh well. So his hand is Ballista and 2 unknowns. Doesn't really appear that he's got ways to flash back the blue half of Spring to Mind, so that kind of helps. Oh, not 2 unknowns. One of them is Field of the Dead. The other, I kind of forgot. I feel like it probably was the Scavenger Grounds. But if I can get like an Ulamog or something. Or not Ulamog, but oh, Scattered Groves. Yeah, it was definitely Scattered Groves. There's the Field of the Dead. Here's a Ballista. Probably. It's probably a Ballista. Oh, Oblivion Sower. Exiled 2 lands and the big bolus. Not a tremendously great outcome for me. I will admit ramp decks seem to be the harder archetype to deal with, but we're not out of this yet, despite being, well, significantly behind. I just want to draw the God Pharaoh. Please. Give me a God Pharaoh. I'll take the Narset. Cast Narset. Activate. Ugh, fires is garbage. Oath. He still has a Ballista in hand. I gotta remember that. +1/+1. There's a Teferi. Do I cast the Teferi? What would I do with it? Tuck Oblivion Sower. Or no, just... I could plus twice. And then I'm chumping with Heart of Kieran. It takes 2 and dies to Walking Ballista. That doesn't seem great. I think I'm just playing the Fate of Wishes. And then I'm going to discard 2 fires to the Fae to pick it up next turn. So he's got 5. He can make like a 7/7 Ballista. That's going to be pretty enormous. Attacks me with everything. So, animate the heart. Still 2 verdicts in my deck. So I'm going to block Sower with the Fae, Zombie with the Heart, and then I'm going to pick up the Fae, discarding 2 Fires of Invention. I'm still just like super totally boned if he has an Ugin, but I think that's always going to be the case. At least if he Ugin and then sweeps the board. Multiple zombies. So it's a 6/6 ballista. Let's see if he goes after the Heart of Kirin. Unfortunately, it's just 1 too big for Deafening Clarion to take it out. So could really go with a third verdict here. That would be optimal. Oath of Teferi, far from optimal. Definitely casting Teferi now. And plussing. Bolus is pretty good. Do I minus Teferi? Do I minus Teferi? Or do I plus it? How do I live if I plus it? So if I minus Teferi on that, and then play Fae of Wishes, it doesn't seem great. Do have to play a sweeper here. You know, I'm not playing another Oath of Teferi this turn, so I'm going to scry. And if I find a verdict, then I know what to do. Neither of those is a verdict. Oko does seem pretty good. I want to put all my good planeswalkers dead, though. How do I win this game? I win this game by getting Nicol Bolas down on empty board. I think the answer is I shoot the Ballista with Teferi. So he's going to redraw the Ballista in 3 turns. Now, I have to play a sweeper. Is there anything super important in my sideboard? Deploy the Gatewatch is nice and all. I do have to clear the board. So I think I'm going to Deafening Clarion now. In retrospect, because I'm Deafening Clarioning now, I really... Yeah, that was a massive punt. What I should have done was Deafening Clarion and then minus Teferi, because then he would only have one available ping from the little thing. So I'm going to draw an Oko. Not next turn, but the turn after that, he's going to draw a Ballista. So this turn, we're going to play Bolus. Plus, Verdict remains the best thing I could do. Let's scry. Verdict, excellent. I don't think I'm going to have time to really mess around with Time Raveler. So it's plus again. We win next turn if he doesn't draw something really good. All right, we have the win in hand. If he doesn't draw action, if he draws anything that's not Ballista or Ugin, we win, I think. We win. Victory is achieved. Congratulations, me. Check this awesomeness. Cast Oko. I'm so glad that I now have a +2 on Bolus, because +2, -8, good game, sir, I win. Or more accurately, you lose. Well, that was an adventure. Pithing Needle. I think a couple Pithing Needles. I can go down a Clarion. I think I'll go up an Intervention. Go down the Hearts. Slaughter Games I still like out of the Wish board. I can't imagine this matchup gets easier post-board, but we'll find out. I think last game showed one of the things that I really love about this deck is just the vast amount of options that you have. There are so many more lines that you can take compared to the vast majority of well-constructed decks. Just when every card in your deck is a Planeswalker that's giving you multiple options every time you activate it, and then you have a Wish board and Drawn from Dreams and stuff like that. There's just like so many different lines you can take. It's fantastic. Like, when you think about, okay, I could Fae of Wishes for any of these like massively different weird effects that will have unpredictable effects on the game, like what would have happened if I hadn't wished for Slaughter Games and cast it looking for Olimog that game? Like, completely different outcome, right? Anyways, it's just very interesting. This hand's acceptable. I think I just Needle Ballista and call that good. I do like Drawn from Dreams. I do want to draw either the Beacon or the Fires quickly. There's a Beacon, so let's just Needle Walking Ballista. Just get that out of the way now, because the concern with this deck is always that once you get the fires active, you just only get 2 spell casts per turn, even if it's cheaps. It's a Weirding Wood. Okay. Weirding Wood's actually really good for his deck. Blue, green. Let's make it food. I thought about turning his clue into a elk, but I just don't want to give him a 3/3. I feel like it pressuring the planeswalkers would be more trouble than it's worth. So that will be an elk. And I'll start getting in there. I think getting planeswalkers into play sooner than later is probably the right move. Ooh, I'm definitely taking fires. Yes, sir. Thank you kindly. Castle Garenbrig, so we can cast something big. He could... Oh, Thought-Knot's here. Oh. Well, that's somewhat not great for me. Probably taking fires. I would be actually quite surprised if it was anything other than fires that he took. So, I think now is time for Drawn from Dreams. Get some action. Veil of Summer, sure. Don't care. Ooh, I don't really love any of these options. I don't have the fires for the Dragon God. I already have a Verdict. I don't think Teferi's great against him. I'll take the Dragon God and hope that I can get fires a little bit later. Perfect. Let's make another food. Maybe I should have turned his Thought-Knot Seer into an elk. That probably would have been better. Kind of wanted to draw a card off when I killed it, but maybe that was too greedy. Especially if he plays like a World Breaker or something like that. Well, actually, World Breaker would be fine. He's gonna attack Jace. If he attacks Oko, I'm fine with that. That's okay. Yeah, he attacks Jace. I do chump with the food. Yeah, trying to get an extra card off that, and that dying is too greedy. So let's, well, I guess it's not too greedy. That's Jace. I'm gonna take the Deafening Clarion. That's fires. Bolus. Kill the Thought-Knot Seer. Draw a card. Another Clarion. So right now what I'm worried about is an Ugin coming down and just being like, I exile your board. Because that's definitely what it feels like right now. He's got 3 things in the yard. He is going to have 8 mana or 9 mana, so he can't cast any of the big Eldrazi, but he can cast Ugin. Okay, well, now this is quite bad. My needles are in the graveyard. Or my needles are in my deck, so I can't wish for them. Oh. Well, that solves the problem now, doesn't it? I think I actually exile cards from his hand, because I think I'm more scared of a big Eldrazi than the next activation of Ugin. And this makes it much harder for him to play a big Eldrazi next turn, because he has to keep like either the Eldrazi or a land, but he can't keep both. So he can't like guaranteed play a big Eldrazi next turn. Alright, so he did have he had an Emrakul. So like if I killed Ugin, he casts Emrakul. Oh, and he got rid of his Weirding Wood. So that's kind of like a nice bonus. So now what? If I +1, then he could shoot Bolas, and I can't return kill the Ugin. 4 and 4. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot Ugin. My guess is the last card in his hand. Wait, I have Intervention on the side, right? Oh, did I put it in? Oh, shit. Oh, that's not good. Oh. Well, I guess I just wish for, yes. Wish for deploy the Gatewatch. I was thinking I'd wish for Intervention and then Intervention on Ulamog so you can cast it, but that's not going to work so well. So if he has land Ulamog, I'm in trouble. And I'm going to need to draw something pretty good. Or more accurately, I'm going to need to deploy the Gatewatch into my last Oko. Feels bad. Or a Teferi. Teferi would also do it. I feel like he probably doesn't have that, because he would probably just slam the Ulamog if he had it. Alright, Thought-Knot Seer taking deploy the Gatewatch is acceptable. Definitely going to exile 2 cards from his hand. Yeah, Ulamog and Worldbreaker. Okay. So now what do I want to do? I think I'm most worried about Ugin. So I might as well kill the Thought-Knot. Draw a card. Ooh, got my Fave Wishes back. It's like I bounced it. And then Intervention on Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. now I can play stuff off the top of his deck. Return to nature. Okay. Is there anything for me to grant it for that's good? I can't get Nezahal. I could get Possibility Storm. Yeah, I suppose I'll get Possibility Storm just in case. And he concedes. Alright, got there 4-0. See you next match.